Hello and welcome to Renaissance Minis. Today I'm going to be continuing with the Renaissance Café. Let's get started. Here I used a coffee stir stick and a standard popsicle stick to make this little teeny crate. And now I'm going to make some little miniature granola bars to go in there. For the granola bars, I'm using the coffee stir stick and I'm putting some glue on it to give it some texture. Hot glue. Just dotting it on right now. And then I'm going to paint over with, that's right, you guessed it, burnt Craft Smart Burnt Umber to make it look like a yummy granola bar. Now I'm going to take some cellophane, and I just saved this from some stickers I bought, and I'm going to cut some pieces to wrap these little granola bars in. And then I'm going to use clear Scotch tape to tape the sides. Now I'm going to be working on some treats for this little display case. I got the display case from Temu, and I found these little rubber beads at the Dollar Tree, and they kind of look like donuts. So I'm going to glue them down to this gold cardstock. And I made these little treats out of the cork that you see to the left there. These little ones here, I'm going to show you how I made those. Punch some holes in the cork. This cork I get at the Dollar Tree, it's got a sticky back on it. So I punched out a couple of those and I stack them one on top of the other. I pulled the peel and stick tab off of the back and stuck it onto another one, layering them. And then I take some hot glue and I put a little bit of hot glue on the very top of it, and then I take some paint. Oh yeah, that's right. First I use this apple barrel paint and I add a little color to it on the sides. I guess I'm trying to mimic frosting of some type. And then after that, I take the hot glue gun and I put a drop of hot glue on the top to mimic kind of a strawberry. And then I take some Craft Smart paint and paint the hot glue. Try to make a little strawberry with it. It's kind of tricky. That one came out a little bit better than the other one. I guess these are little miniature strawberry shortcakes. That's what they kind of look like to me, although I didn't have a plan when I started this. I was just experimenting to see what would look more realistic. These came out pretty good though. So I used to buy all of my miniature food on Temu or Amazon, and now I'm wanting to make more of my own miniature food. Most of everything you see here is Temu. The display case, the little glass display case, the other little bubble display case, the espresso machine, and the little coffee craft with the red lid and the little coffee grinder is all Temu. The little jar with that I put real coffee in, that came from Dollar Tree. The coffee cups on the back wall are from Michael's Crafts. Then I made these tiny sandwiches out of cork. And here are the granola bars. I think they turned out pretty well. Everything looks good. A few stray glue strings there. I did install a little miniature sink. And then on the other side right here, this is where you get your cream and your coffee stir sticks and whatnot. It's the little prepare your coffee area. And so basically the inside of this coffee shop is done. And so now I'm going to be moving on to the front part, which should be pretty simple, but we'll see. Now I'm getting everything in position to do the front. I have already cut out all of the frames, so I will have to frame the interior part of the windows, then I will frame the exterior part of the windows, and underneath the windows there on both sides of the door, and then figure out what I'm going to do with the top. So these are I took the templates and I pre-cut some chipboard frames, which I will now be gluing on to all of the pieces. And then at some point I realize I need to do some kind of window trim on the inside, and I take some black cardstock, cut some thin strips, and apply it to around the windows for the inside. And here I'm trying to figure out what steps to do first, what to attach first. I don't want to glue anything in until I figure out what piece goes first, so that I don't have to end up pulling it back off later, which I actually have to do. I end up trying to glue in the center door section first, and I realized later that the other pieces have to still be cut to size, even though I measured them very carefully. When you start to put them all together, you still may have to trim them up on the right and left side before you glue them in. And that's what I end up doing off camera later, is I trim up the sides to get it to fit better. But now I'm cutting these strips for the interior frames of the windows. Now I had pre-painted these chipboard frames for the outside, so I'm going to attach those, and I put some chipboard on the bottom underneath the windows and painted it and put some matte Mod Podge on it, and I also painted the door and put matte Mod Podge on it and added the door handles. I should have done this in a different order. I should have cut all the pieces to fit in place first and then made the trim for the windows and then attached it, because later I find out that I have to cut a little bit off of each side of these panels in order for them to fit properly all together in the front. Even though I had pre-measured them all, they still didn't fit quite right. Lucky for me, there was a little bit on the sides that I could spare off each panel, and so it didn't change or alter anything too badly. But this is one of the things when you're making doll houses and room boxes yourself. It's not a kit. There's no instructions. You have to kind of think a few steps ahead. I have many times had to rip stuff apart that I put together and it didn't work out. Like right here, I realized that they're not fitting, and I had already glued that centerpiece in there. So I realize now that these angled pieces are not fitting as tight as I would like. So I do have to end up cutting them. And I do end up taking that center piece off and cutting it too a little bit on either side. And I'm just glad that there was room to spare. So now I get it all fitting tight, and now I'm ready to go for the final gluing this section in. And honestly, using the hot glue, you have to work so fast. What I end up doing is I end up trying to glue this in. I end up tipping over the camera because I had to rush in and make sure that it was setting up properly, because hot glue adheres so quickly. So on that centerpiece, I probably should have used tacky glue. That way I would have had time to adjust it, but you learn and you move on. And so here I am now realizing that on the inside there are seams. And so I'm going to cover the seams here with some cardstock. So I'm cutting the cardstock and folding it in half. And now I'm going to add these seams to the inside. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any wallpaper left, so I'm going to have to take this black seam all the way up on the inside, which I'm not too happy about. But you know, when you're looking at a room box, you're going to be looking in. You're not going to be looking from this angle. So at this point, I'm just kind of doing it so it has a cleaner look. I can't get any more of that wallpaper because it came in a tablet. And so I would have to re-buy an entire tablet to get some more of the wallpaper. So it is what it is. Next time I'll make sure I will have an extra piece of wallpaper in case I have to do some touch-up spots. But for now, this will do. It's going to have to. Here's where I cover the seams. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I thought they were going to fit so tight together that I wouldn't have to do this. But I think this is going to give it a nice finished look. So I'm adding some 1/8 square dowels to these edges. I painted them and I'm gluing them into the crack, if you will, by turning the square dowel a little bit so that the angled side goes into the crack. and I do like the look of it. It does make it look more like a real storefront, since most of them do have pretty ornate trimming work. So it worked out fine. And I'm going to do that on this side and the other side. Now I'm covering this piece on one side, or maybe both sides, as well as the front edge with the chipboard. And I'm basically going to do that with the entire front. I decide to go with the chipboard on the entire front. You'll see that later. So I decide to go with the chipboard on top instead of doing faux brick. And I'm keeping the same shape, the bottom of the building as the top of the building. I thought about going with a straight across the top. Most storefront buildings that I saw online where, they had the door inset a little bit and the windows out on the sides had the upper part just straight. There was no shape in it, but I decided to keep the shape of the bottom half, and now I'm going to be adding some details to it. I am using black foam board now, and I'm covering it with chipboard. And this is going to help give some dimension to the front of the building, and it's also going to mimic what I saw online as far as how the fronts of buildings had fancy woodwork in front, quite a bit actually. So that's what I'm doing here. Well, that just about wraps it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching as always. Click subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. Click like if you like this content, and hopefully you'll come back and see me sometime and see how this finishes out. I am excited I want to get the lighting in and get everything set up inside, and then I'll be done.